G'day guys, welcome to my Squires feature video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Hyundai Aleague for week 2's recap preview for 2021 guys. So let's get started. So the first match of that game, we see Wellington Phoenix going up against the Sydney FC. Now, this game was pretty tight, pretty average. I know for a fact that the Sydney FC were basically going to get a win, and I know that for sure. The Wellington Phoenix, they were putting up a really good fight, but unfortunately though, they didn't get the win. But it was basically 2-1 for that scoreline, and basically Sydney FC are a really top team that just proves the point that they can obviously win a game of soccer. And usually Sydney FC are a really good team, and they usually are. So for that score and that minute was basically Luke Bratton and Callum Nurwinoff, which I don't know his last name pretty much really well, but yeah, Callum Nurwinoff. And yeah, so those two players obviously scored, so yeah, pretty much usually, which I thought to myself, I thought Costa Barbarouses would have gotten like a score for that team, but he obviously didn't. Yeah, because he's like a fast player for that team, and I just thought to myself that it was basically really much a tough win for this side, and the Sydney FC were basically proving themselves they can win a game of football anyway, and they have, but that was just really close scoreline, and I just thought to myself, what a really good win for the Sydney FC to basically get a win up against the Wellington Phoenix anyway. But the Wellington Phoenix are obviously a really good team, but the only player that basically scored was Marisa Mredic. He basically scored in that match. The only player that basically scored in that game anyway. So yeah, well done to the Sydney FC for making a win 2-1 anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Melbourne Victory going up against the Brisbane Roar. Now, this game was pretty much intense, but the Brisbane Roar got fired up in that game. Pretty much did the job. Well done by them. It was basically 3-1 the scoreline, and I just thought to myself that if this game was pretty much intense, I thought Melbourne Victory were going to get a win, but unfortunately they didn't. And I thought to myself, was the Melbourne Victory going to get a win, or was the Brisbane Roar going to get a win? But unfortunately though, Melbourne Victory didn't get a win, but then the Brisbane Roar basically sealed the deal and really got a tense win for that match. 3-1 the scoreline, and the three players that basically scored was Dylan Wenzel-Halls, Scott McDonald, and Callum. Oh wait, no, it wasn't Callum. I can't remember what the other player was, but yeah, the only players that I know was Scott McDonald and Dylan Wenzel-Halls. And the only player for the Melbourne Victory that basically scored was Callum McManaman. He was a new signing that basically came from another team, I'd say. And yeah, really good defense by the Brisbane Roar that really didn't want the Melbourne Victory to get another goal. But in this game though, what I can say about that one, it was absolutely intense. Really good play by the Brisbane Roar, and I just have to say, for the Brisbane Roar fans, I like this club, and they are an absolutely good club. So I would have to say that this game was pretty intense, but yeah, well done for the Brisbane Roar to get a win up against the Melbourne Victory anyway. The next game of that match, we see that Macarthur FC going up against the Central Coast Mariners. Now, that game was pretty much intense. Well done from the Central Coast Mariners that they are stepping up and basically getting a win every single time that I see them. And this game was pretty much really on top of their form, and the Central Coast Mariners are just getting a win by non-stop. And the last time that the Central Coast Mariners basically won was basically 1-0 against the Newcastle Jets. Excuse me. And the only team that basically are stepping up is the Central Coast Mariners. And I just thought to myself, what a really wonderful team this team is. And yeah, they just basically broke MacArthur FC's heart in that game. And the only two players that basically scored was Daniel De Silva and Jordan Smiley. The only two players that basically scored in that game. And well done from them two for making them really good goals for each other. And basically well done from them for basically getting a really good win in that game. But MacArthur FC have proven themselves that they want to win that game, but unfortunately they didn't. But they've got really good quality players, and I thought to myself, I thought MacArthur FC were going to win that game, but unfortunately they didn't, which that means Central Coast Mariners, the only team that basically won that 2-0 anyway, 2-0 anyway for that scoreline. And that match was pretty much intense, and I thought, was the Central Coast Mariners going to win, or was the MacArthur FC going to win? But unfortunately though, MacArthur FC didn't win, but then the Central Coast Mariners won that game. So it's basically 2-0 the scoreline, and Daniel De Silva and Jordan Smiley, the only two players that basically scored. So well done from the Central Coast Mariners for making a really good win up against the MacArthur FC anyway. And last but certainly not least, we see the Adelaide United going up against the Melbourne City. Now, that game was pretty much intense. Well done from the Adelaide United for making a really good win. I thought to myself that was Melbourne City were going to win this game because they had Jamie McLaren in there, the only player that basically seals the deal for their club. But unfortunately, he didn't prove himself. He wanted to get a goal for his team. So that means it was 2-0 from the Adelaide United in that scoreline. So that would have mean that Adelaide United were basically fired up in this game, and it was a home match game from the Adelaide United anyway. And so that match was pretty much intense, and the only team that basically really stepped up was the Adelaide United. So I would have to say that every single time this game was pretty much intense, it was basically proven by the Adelaide United side. But the only two players that basically scored was Tommy Juric and Stefan Mock. Was the only two players that basically scored anyway for their team to make it 2-0 the scoreline. And I would have to say that this game was pretty much a really good match, and I thought, was Jamie McLaren going to basically win this game for their team to basically get a couple of goals for their team? But he didn't, so that means Adelaide United got a win for their side, and it was basically 2-0 for their team. So well done from the Adelaide United for making a really good win. And yeah, unfortunately though, Melbourne City didn't seal the deal, so they had to make Adelaide United obviously win that game for their club anyway. Thanks guys for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care guys, stay safe, and have a good one. Plus, let's get up to 200 subscribers. We're sitting on 194 anyway, so let's get up to that, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.